It's sunny and warm right now, but winter is just around the corner. We have 10 action items to help you prepare for what may be a potentially difficult winter. Hey Provident Preppers, I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Kylene, and Jonathan and I are out here at Bear Lake, and this is someplace that we love to come just to get away from everything. But this year is a little bit different. There's a lot of smoke in the air, and the beach has receded quite a ways back. And when we're thinking about this winter, potentially it could be a difficult winter, and we need to take action so that we're prepared, so that regardless of what happens, we'll make it through okay.
So we have 10 action items that we're going to discuss. Now these are not going to be in any order of importance because that is something you'll have to figure out. You need to decide which of these are most important and which ones you should take action on to provide best for your family.
Because it's different, right? Depending on where you live. Some of our friends in Europe right now are really struggling because everything, the fuel is just outrageous, right? And we don't know if we're going to have power outages this winter, if there's going to be difficulty with just the cost making it so that we can't afford it, or whether fuel availability is going to be an issue. So let's get busy with the 10 items.
Action item number 1 is fortifying your home. Right now is the time to look at where you might have potential air leakage, where you might have some other issues that need to be addressed, your roof, insulation, whatever it is. Look at your home and decide what you can do to make that a fortress and a place of safety for your loved ones and for yourself.
So think about it. If you don't have any alternative heat and you just have to hunker down in your house, what can you do to make it so that you can survive the freezing cold temperatures, right? And that leads us into number 2. So number 2 is to create microclimates. We talk about this in some of our videos. So if you click the card in the corner or in the description below, I'll leave some links and we go through this in detail. But creating a microclimate can make all the difference when you don't have any other source of heat. For instance, if you set up a little tent in just your living room of your house and then you stay in it, you're going to stay significantly warmer. I promise you, it's like this crazy thing that happens and you can be warmer. Now, we've had a lot of our viewers talk about different things that they've done. One of them had a cardboard box and they actually brought this giant cardboard box in, and that's where they slept to keep them warm. Another idea is if you have bunk beds where you keep your kids in bunk beds, you can throw blankets over that top bunk and kind of create that tent environment and tuck both of those kids in that same bed so that they can stay warm. You could sleep underneath your kitchen table. Take that mattress, put it underneath your table, and put blankets over the top. Anything that you can do to create that microenvironment. So this is an action item. I want you to think about what tools or resources you need so that you can create that microenvironment. Number 3 is to make sure that you have plenty of warm clothes and blankets. Now, if you are going to live without any power, you're going to need so many more blankets than you thought you might need. And I was just talking actually to my daughter-in-law, Amanda, about this, about how they are accumulating more of those really cool fleece blankets like that are on sale every year just because it's such an important thing to have. So whatever blankets you can acquire or sleeping bags, things like that, do it. And then the second part of that is warm clothing. Now, right now, most of us live in these nice climate controlled homes, and we can dress pretty much any way that we want to inside the house. Well, if you don't have heat in your home, you're gonna need to dress more like you would dress like you were outside. So you'll need different layers. One of the things that I really like are snuggly fleece kind of pajamas that keep you really warm, jogging suits, and anything that you can layer up, right? Like this jacket, it's not very heavy, but I can put it on, I can put something else on top of it. If I get too warm, then I can start taking off layers. But the number 1 thing that I would recommend all of us have is a hat. And we learned about that when in January, several years back, when our kids were little, we turned our heat off in our home in January just to see if we could survive it. And it was really, really cold. And one of the things that I learned was if I put a hat on, I was much warmer. So make sure that you have one of those. And then if you're not going to wear your shoes in the house, make sure that you have some really nice warm socks or slippers, something so that you can make sure that your feet are nice and warm.
So number 4 is alternative heat and fuel. So whatever heating device you like, make sure that you have that and that you have the fuel that you need. Now, our favorite is our wood burning stove, and so making sure that that's cleaned and ready to go, that the chimney's in good repair, making sure we have wood that's dry and seasoned. These are all important things. Maybe it's a buddy heater that you're going to use, and make sure that you have the fuel for that. Whatever it is, make sure that you have whatever device and whatever fuel you need to run that device, and make sure you can do it safely.
Right now is a great time to go and make sure that all of your propane tanks are full, right? Don't wait any longer. Do it while it's still nice and warm. Okay, and then the next one, number 5, this is number 5, is lighting. Okay, if we don't have power, lighting is more important than you think it might be. Now, you guys know that my favorite are HybridLights, and this is just one that I took on vacation. I just put it in my suitcase, and the reason why I like them so much is it's just this nice little thing. It is powered by solar, so I can stick this in a window and it keeps it nice and charged. But the other thing that's really important is that I can charge my cell phone using the power in here, right? So it's also a phone charger. It has this little USB port. So for me, this little tiny thing, like I don't leave home without it, and I want to make sure that I have a form of lighting. You could totally use all kinds of different things. The problem is batteries wear out, right? You run through them and you exhaust them. And then some of the fuel sources that you might use, like candles or oils or things like that, they'll all end up running out, but it's also a fire hazard. And in our experiment where we turned the power off in our house and we didn't have any light and we didn't have any heat, I found that it was actually really dangerous because I originally was going to use candles, and my kids were sticking popsicle sticks and all kinds.
And her.
Okay, I'm so guilty sometimes too. All right, I know. But it was dangerous, right? That you had to keep an eye on them. With something like this, like I said, HybridLights, they are my favorite. And if you use the discount codes Provident, right? Provident, they'll give you 20% off. We gave all of our kids last year lanterns from HybridLight, and it was really exciting. So just a thought, but make sure you have some kind of light source.
Okay, number 6 is backup power and charging, whatever source that looks like. For some of you, that may be a fuel-based generator. For some of you, that may be a solar power station. Whatever that is, do you have the energy that you need to run critical appliances? Maybe that's medical equipment. Whatever it is, make sure that you have the device you need and any fuels that you may need, and make sure that you do that safely. Make sure that you have working smoke and fire and carbon monoxide alarms. We like the digital readouts on the carbon monoxide alarms so that you know exactly what's going on and that you can do this safely.
We had a really interesting thing happen to us because we went camping on a family reunion last weekend, and one of our family members is on a CPAP. And the generator was really loud outside, and so he was trying to sleep without his CPAP, and we let him borrow one of the ones that we had brought up. It was one of the Jackery ones, and by morning he was totally sold because it was really quiet, and it totally took care of that. So if you're on that medical equipment, that's critical, and you just have to have it. But for some of us, that might be an option you can't do. You can't just throw down a couple $1,000s for a backup battery. Right. But you're gonna need some way to charge some little things, for instance, your cell phone. Something like this, or a little solar bank that aren't very expensive could totally do the job. So we have to do the best that we can in the situation that we are in. And if you are on oxygen and you need what do you call it, a battery bank for a solar charged battery bank or something like that, or a generator, so that you can have your oxygen, then that puts it in a whole nother category, and that's something you really, really need to take care of. And number 7 is to get out there and stock up on food. I know that the prices are going crazy, but if there's any way that you can afford to go and beef up your pantry with shelf staple foods, now is a really good time to do that. And think specifically for wintertime. What things are going to be important to keep you warm? If you can buy whatever your family likes to drink, warm drinks, right? Do you like hot cocoa or coffee or tea or hot apple cider. Anything that's you can warm up and warm you from the inside out is going to help. Things like canned soup, so that you can just open that can. It's better if it's heated, but and eat it. Liquids that kind of will just warm you up. Those are something that might want to take a priority, right? And then that takes us right to number 8, which is you need alternative cooking methods. How are you going to warm up that food? And it's not like you can't eat it straight out of the can, but man, it's so much nicer if you can warm that up. So I'd look at that. We just posted a video last week on alternative cooking where we talked about how to cook outdoors and how to cook indoors and what your options are. So take a little look at that video or the post and figure out what exactly you need so that you can cook if you don't have electricity or natural gas.
Number 9 is all about community. And if you've watched us at all, you know community is so important to us. Getting out, getting to know your neighbors, working out plans so that you're checking on neighbors who may be shut in, maybe be elderly or have other needs. We need to be part of the solution. We need to be out there helping to make sure others are well and safe as well. So build your community, get to know your neighbors, work out plans, whatever you need to do to make sure that everyone is okay.
Think about it. If you have a neighbor who's a mom with small children and you know they don't have any backup source of heat, you know, we might want to really work plans out like that right now. Like we have a wood burning stove. So those people, those families, they could come to our place and we could keep everybody warm. Yeah, our house is small and the accommodations wouldn't be optimal, but they wouldn't freeze. And so, yeah, get to know your neighbors, find out what their needs are, and maybe you're the one who doesn't have a way to keep warm. Well, let's talk it through now, right? So we can take care of that and just take care of each other and build some really good relationships.
Absolutely.
And that moves us to number 10. Okay, when you are sick, it's a huge bummer to have to run out to the store and buy any types of medications that you need to make it through that illness. So now is a super good time to go and stock up on over-the-counter medications, cough drops, throat lozenges, little spray. That was the thing I needed when I had COVID the last time, was my throat hurt so bad, and that spray for the back of your throat was fantastic. We have a whole post on that. If you want to go see that list and look at the things that we get, that would be a really good idea. But stock up on it right now so that you have them in your home and you're not the one showing up to the store and the shelves have been cleaned.
So there you have it. You have our 10 action items that you can take. Now again, these are not in any priority order. These need to be prioritized by you, and maybe there's some items that you need to add that we didn't even talk about. So the question of the day is, what are you doing to get ready for winter? Comment below. And thanks for being part of the solution.